that jazz.
Starting the video in 20 seconds. We got 15 countdown. 10,
I should have worn my own shirt then.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome, everybody, to another great show hosted by the 3 Count Podcast. This time around, we're making it a little bit different. We are calling it Now Returning to the Ring, or just Returning to the Ring. We haven't figured that one out. Today, though, I have a roster, well, a buddy that's going to help me on this. And you guys know him as Q. Cliff calls him Napster. Everybody say hi to JJ.
Hey everybody, like the sidewalks for keeping me off the street, especially the homeless shelters because I was taking a nap on the street. Shout out to them.
All right. So then today we have the best tag team on the 3 Count Podcast. We got the host and the producer, the Red Dog and Chaz.
Wow.
Give it up for the Red Dog and Chaz Evans.
I'm the Don. You refer to me as such, the Don of pro wrestling.
You're the Don of the other one, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Dawn of Justice.
Damn. Well, I'm so glad that, that's a beautiful intro. Beautiful intro. I love the way it looks. The way it sounds. It's perfect.
We're definitely getting canceled. No, most definitely getting canceled. I mean, honestly, if we haven't gotten canceled yet, then we're not going to get canceled at any rate.
This is true. This is 100% true. So, now that we're done recording and there's not much for us to do right now, what have you guys been up to?
Sheesh.
Well, I mean, planning, really. Since, we've really been planning since, we've been on hiatus, starting a couple weeks ago. And we've just been planning for next year for season 2 of the debate show, season 2 of Now Into the Ring, and also helping you plan out this, returning to the ring. We just got a lot of big stuff planned for the 3 Count. Yesterday we had our, last night we had our 1-year anniversary celebration watch along. We watched Halloween Havoc 97, which was fun. But yeah, we've been, I mean, we didn't work any shows because they got canceled. So,
Yeah.
That's all we've been doing. And, and then, shoot jobs.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, the other side of it, man, is like we just launched off the website, so 3countpodcast.com. We've been working with the merch store. We're getting ready to upload some new designs, and then not only that, but we also, aside and kind of like how Chaz was saying, aside from just like not being able to work shows, we've been training like almost every weekend. Like, it's been ridiculous. Like, we still stay mad busy. It's just because the show went on hiatus doesn't mean we get to rest. There's no breaks.
That's facts.
I don't envy you, especially, Cliff, because you're the producer of everything that we do. Like, on top of working 4 hours a week, on top of being a dad, on top of that, you go training all weekend. Like, there's no break for Cliff Miller. So
No, there really isn't.
All right, so you guys talked about that. You guys did what we watched, the Halloween Havoc. What was your favorite matchup of that card?
Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero.
Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, that was the best match. Yeah.
Like, I don't think, I feel like if you watch that show and you don't say Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, then I question, your taste in wrestling, really. Because I think that was just, top to bottom, that was a really, really good match. When you got, 2 greats like Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, you really can't do no wrong.
Absolutely. All right, so grade that for me. What do you like? Earlier we were talking on the phone, and I gave that a B+, solid A-. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Cliff.
Yeah, man, I'd give it a B+. It was a good show.
Yeah, being this is my first time watching it, I definitely give it a solid B. All around, it was a good show. There were some stinkers in there, of course. But all in all, it was a good show.
What about you, JJ?
Well, honestly, if I'm gonna give my 2 cents, that was the first time I watched the show. Honestly, I'd give it probably an A minus. I think that it was really good. I think there was some wrestling for every single fan. So I think that was the beauty behind it. Like you had your slow but methodical Japanese wrestling, but then you had your luchador, high paced, fast paced, quick wrestling. You had Piper and Hogan, like your more Americanized wrestling. So I think there was something there for everybody to have, and something for every single genre that likes wrestling to take in. So yeah.
Absolutely. So could you guys tell the difference between a WWE show, packed house, to a WWE show? Did you guys notice how much different the audience was?
I mean, are you talking about like the difference between like WWE and WCW? Like, is that what you're
Yes.
wondering? Yeah. I mean, the thing is like, so like it's funny because like and like currently, right, like right now, like guys that are like mid card guys that aren't over really don't get reactions from like the crowd, but guys like Alex Wright had the entire stadium still popping, like, so yeah. I mean, like there's a definite difference. Like there was definitely a difference.
And it like there's like WWE has this like or conduct that you have to be orderly. Like you have pants sitting here, where WCW was just wild. Like it looked like you had like 6 people to a seat, and they're all bunched in, super packed tight. You see pop being thrown this way, pop being thrown in the ring, and that's how WCW was.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I was saying it's not entirely fair to say like, because at that time too, WWF and WWE/WWF was like the same way when in that '90s time period. I mean, like currently, it's just because the fans are dwindling away, like crowd wise, and we saw that with like the ratings for like Raw this last week. But if you look at like what WWF was then with like Rock, Hogan, Rock, Austin, you had Taker, you had DX was like right there. There was like a huge surgence in wrestling because of like what Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and Hogan and Macho Man and Sting were doing on WCW. But on the other side, you had just as many fans for WWF. So it wasn't like you were really missing out, but the fans weren't. Like, let's be real, 97, 96, 97, there was girls who were just taking off their tops like during WWF shows on Monday Night Raw live. Like, it wasn't like, it's not like WCW was like, do whatever you want, and then WWE's like, sit here. No, they were very much the same way.
But WCW was more of that do whatever you want, where WWE had a little bit more action conduct.
WWF had a contest about who can make the best signs in WWE in 96, 97. Like there were people like making the people's eyebrow with like posters.
Oh, I remember that. It's just
Because I think even then, when I started watching the Cena, they had some of his fan, and I'll never forget it. The guy, he had his hand going like this, dude on the "You Can't See Me" with the sign. That's one thing I miss in wrestling. They don't do signs anymore.
That's because like WWE has so many sponsors. They're not trying to like lose money. It is what it is. I mean, it's their business. We just kind of live in it.
All right.
This question's for each of you. What do you guys want to accomplish? Not as the 3 Count podcast, but as wrestlers. Once this pandemic ends.
Oh, go ahead, Chaz.
You take this one first. You want me to go first? Okay. So for me, what I want to accomplish as far as a wrestler, when the pandemic ends, or if it ends at all, or when things start picking back up, I want to showcase the fact that Black wrestlers can main event shows and can bring in money. It's no surprise that I'm a huge supporter of Black Lives Matter, and the whole of Black people are entertaining just as much as any other person. We saw it this past not this past weekend, but the weekend before. The Rich Swann and Chris Bay. They for the technically it's the third time They were the third match to ever main event a major pay per view, and they were two black wrestlers. That's that's appalling, and I want to change that. I want to do it for the culture, because there's probably a little black boy watching wrestling right now who probably doesn't think that he can become a wrestler because he doesn't see many successful wrestlers that look like him. And I would use the term successful being as they're in the top card, they're the main event, they're top billing. That's why a lot of my culture, a lot of us loved Kofi and that whole rise of Kofi, because it's never been done. Like, yeah, Rock's, Rock claims claims Samoa. So we never got that, African American WWE champion. So what I want to accomplish is that, that anybody, like, as far as, not even just black people, but anybody can be that top star in any company, whether it's WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan. I just want to bring a platform and bring awareness to that.
I mean, just for me, man, it's just kind of like show, like, it doesn't matter what your age is. It just matters, like, how hard you're willing to work and how much drive you're willing to show. And just, wherever you want to go in life, like, you have to work for it. Like, it's not given to you. Like, you're not entitled to anything. You're not privileged to anything. You just got to work. And you got to grind. You got to push. And if anything, like, running this podcast and working on the side, or working and then wrestling, all in the same token, like, once this pandemic lifts, like, I want to go to different places. Like, I want to be in South Dakota, like over in Rapid City with all, Midwest All Pro Wrestling. Like, shout outs to DJ JK and Lucky Lund. Or I want to go to the Northeast and go up into Massachusetts and Connecticut and go wrestle with Trayvon Jordan and BRG, So shout outs to Wave and Curls. I want to go down south into Florida and I want to wrestle with Generation Championship. I want to go to New York and go wrestle with Invictus and Outbreak. Like, I want to be able to showcase my talent everywhere. Like, I don't want to be just confined to like one or two areas. Like, I want to be out there. I want to, show up in Texas one night and then the next night show up in Mississippi for a random show, and then just have fun and showcase who I am and what I can do. And that's really where I'm at with it. Like, it might not be something I do this year, like as in 2021, but trust and believe that by the time that 2022 hits, somebody's going to be like, hey, yo, if you're not checking out what Red Dog's doing, like, you're missing out.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, age doesn't matter. Look at DDP. Kids are Taylor's your age.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I feel you there. JJ, you have any questions that you want to ask them?
Yes, I do. So since the 3 count is sort of on a hibernation period, so I want to.
Oh, I wish you would have told me that before I started using the word hiatus. I would have been using hibernation for like weeks using that term. Oh man, I like that one. Sorry.
No, that's all good. So in both of you guys' opinion, what is a pro and a con about this hibernation process?
You want to hear a pro? A pro is that, my Sunday afternoons are kind of free. I don't have to rush and miss football games because we have to record, especially the Cowboys, because they normally play at 4 o'clock.
I mean, they suck anyway. So
I never said they didn't suck. Here's everyone, I will put out there, like, yes, the Cowboys suck. I know this, but I will still cheer them on even when they suck. I always cheer for the sucky teams, and then when they get good, I can rub it in people's faces. But a con is that Cliff doesn't listen when we say hiatus. That's the biggest con. So, because he's definitely a con man when he says, "Yeah, we're on hiatus."
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. Like, I guess for me, a pro is like, I don't have to stress out about like the Sunday show and like getting everything together, or like help getting everything together, because I know Chaz puts the topics together, but like I'll be rushing around trying to figure out like who's gonna be on the show, and then like trying to think about my opinions while I'm like driving home, and like a hurry from like training, and so I'm always like, my mind's like always going, so I get kind of relaxed. But the con is like I never, like, I never took time off. I just went and started like I just started still booking more interviews and stuff. So we still have like wrestlers that are gonna come on the show, and we're gonna still talk, and I'm still gonna put the interviews together and push them up. So I still do all the producing side. By the way, what up, Justin? Justin Del Rio from Nerds of Wrestling actually just popped in and said what up. So
Yeah. Justin, if you're listening and watching, as it looks like you are, if you have any questions for these two guys, Chaz and Red Dog, put them out there. I'll ask them for you.
Yeah, but I think that's what's funny for me is that like the rest period, it's nice because I don't have to like think about things. But I'm very much in a mindset of like I want to keep learning and I want to keep like asking people more questions. So like I still go out and grab like other people, or Chaz will throw a suggestion out and say, hey, we should book these guys. And instead of like waiting till like January like I was supposed to, I just went and just like, hey man, do you want to come on like this weekend? They're like, yeah. I was like, bet. Let's go this weekend. We'll record this and put it out there.
Like, I'm legitimately going to stop sending him people to book and just wait and hold off until January now. Like,
Well, if you
'cause he
only
does
saw
this.
if you only saw the notebook and like how many people like have given me names of people they want to see me like bring on the show, I'm just like, yep. I talked to that person. I talked to this person. I talked to that person. Like I legit has like I have like a line. Like if I like I'll give you an example, right? For someone that I've been like reaching out to, right? Rochelle Chanel is said that she's gonna come on the show. So like I put a line like next to her name, just like, all right, she's I've contacted them. And then I'll put a line vertically as like a plus symbol. It's like they said they're into the show, so it makes like a little plus symbol. And then I'll put like a check mark when I know that they're booked. So like I have every single person that I've been trying to contact this off season to bring on the show.
Holy moly.
And then I'll write the date next to them. So I'm like, all right, bet this is what we have going on.
Right, don't stop for the Red Dog.
Mm-mm.
So my next question is, so now entering the ring, what made you guys come up with this show, with the show of now entering the ring, and how successful do you think that it's become?
No, you want to know? I'll tell you what happened. And I love telling the story. It's because of the pandemic is why we came up with the show. That's legitimately the reason. Okay, I always tell the story. I always say this. When I said the 3 Count podcast, I had one show in mind. I had one show, and I mentioned this last night. One show. It was just the debate show. You know, because I'm a very avid watcher of Skip and Shannon every morning. So I like the debate style show. First take can go kick rocks, but sorry, let me not talk about ESPN. They might want to bring us on. That'd be lit. 3 Count podcast on the on ESPN. But so when the pandemic hit and things were starting to shut down, we were worried that wrestling was going to be shut down. So we were like, well, what are we going to debate about if there is no wrestling? So we were like, so Cliff came up with the idea, let's start interviewing wrestlers. Let's just try it, bring them on, see what happens. And Big Trouble Ben Bishop, good friend of ours, was our first interview, and the snowball just got bigger and bigger and bigger, where we were doing interviews once a week. Now to the point we're doing interviews 3 times a week. I mean, sometimes, yeah, right. Like sometimes even 4, right?
Yeah.
So, it's I call it the highly acclaimed, now entering the ring, because it has, taken a life of its own, like just like the debate show. Like the debate show in itself is its own thing, and it has its own aura about it. But when you go, and I say when you go down the hall to now into the ring, it has its own vibe, its own aura. And that's all, all thanks to Cliff. Like that's Cliff's show. He spearheads that. And all credit goes to Cliff, because I don't bring the guests on. I have ideas of like, oh, we should bring this guy person on, or bring this wrestler on. But it's all Cliff. Cliff comes up with, who we should bring on, how it runs and everything. So, Yeah, it's now entering as movie is really successful now, and it's really good because now we got people wanting to get on now entering the ring. Like people are coming to us like, "Hey, can I get on your podcast?" And we're like, "Hey, sure."
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think for me, it's the story was kind of set, right? Like, it was just kind of like a hey, there might not be any wrestling, so let's just bullshit, let's just BS with some people, see what happens, see if it takes off, and it did, man. It really took off, and I was shocked to see how well the show like took place, and it and it's been a great trip down memory lane and just like talking to people and gaining knowledge and then reaching out. I think for me, what's so funny is I consider the show successful, but I feel like it can be a lot more successful. And um, I have big goals, big dreams. And I think for me, when I get my top three interviews that I like want on the show, it it'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. So, but not to take away from like any of our guests, man, but the show changed, man. And to be honest, JJ, it was because of you the reason why the show changed. It used to be about us just kind of having people on the show and just kind of guessing, but it changed when you start asking questions that were more regarded about learning, and it got me to thinking like, yo, like, why don't we make this show about wrestling, learning about wrestling? And when we see had more people come on and talk about it with us, it was awesome. So it was cool.
Look at you
Oh,
being.
I feel so special.
You should. You look at you being an influencer.
Absolutely. So, Justin Del Rio just asked, what are your guys' thought on Impact?
Like as far as Kenny showing up on Impact, I love it.
All in general.
Oh, I mean, so I'll be fair. I'll keep it 100. I've said this a few times and I'll say it again. So with me, Impact wise, I started watching back in August because I was challenged to. But once I started watching, I fell in love with it all over again, and I wanted to continue watching and like enjoying the product. And to see, obviously Motor City Machine Guns and the North and the Good Brothers. I'm really a big fan of like the tag division because I feel like it's one of the top tag divisions, like just out there in general. But as far as like the stories go, there's kind of like some hit and miss stories that go on, but I definitely am a huge fan of like all the matches. Um, I think the other part too I really like about Impact is that it almost feels like you never know who's gonna show up. And even though like we knew like Kenny was coming to Impact, right, because of what happened on AEW, it was just seeing Eric Young, seeing EC3, seeing Heath, seeing just everybody showing up. It was crazy to see everybody just coming back. Hornswoggle coming back. You know what I mean? Like it was just to me it was just crazy, but it's fun and it made me want to keep watching and just kept me hooked and invested.
Yeah. Same. Likewise. I enjoy Impact. I was, hitting on and off watching Impact. I wasn't watching it regularly, but I definitely did tune in to Slammiversary, and I've been kind of keeping up, sort of with Impact. There's just so much wrestling to watch, and I just sometimes I don't have time to watch it all, but I do make sure I know what's going on in Impact. So I do like Impact. They do get a bad rap for all the stuff that they did in the past, but it's a totally different company than what it was, and I think a lot of people need to understand that this is not TNA Impact, right? It's just Impact Wrestling, so it's a totally separate thing. It's totally different, and it's just that Impact name that it gives wrestling fans a sour taste, but once you go in looking and you watch it and you give it, go in with, an open, clear mind and, don't think like, oh, this is Dixie Carter and, what happened to the X division. You got to look at it. It's something brand new. And when you look at it like that, I think you'll find some glimpses of, top tier entertainment. So I truly like Impact. I really do. You can never go wrong with the Motor City Machine Guns anyway.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't watch Impact like that, but I did watch Slammiversary, and I was thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly impressed. I was actually really lenient because that I didn't really want to watch Slammiversary. Chaz was kept on being adamant with me that you need to watch Slammiversary. It's actually a good show.
It was.
And
It will be.
yeah, and I was part of that fan base that was like, TNA, Impact, Dixie Carter, they ruined everything, so I'm not watching this show. I'm gonna admit I was a part of that. I'm a part of that fan base that was like, I can't touch it. It's tainted. But it was actually pretty good. I think they're going in a good direction. Besides having Kenny on the show, I don't like Kenny, so I just had to put that out there. I mean, Kenny's talented, but I just don't like the character. But yeah, I think that they're going in the right direction. I like how they're revamping, and it's kind of it's different. Like Chaz said, it's not the same. It's not TNA. It's a whole new thing, and I think that there's some things that Impact does that they're better at than WWE. Mm-hmm. Tag team is one example. There's more, like their treatment of minority wrestlers. It feels like they're more involved within the product. But yeah, I think TNA's doing a good job. So I think I have another question I want to ask. So what dream matches do you guys want to be a part of? Cliff and Chaz.
Oh, my dream match?
Yep.
That's tough because I feel like my dream match changes.
All right, so give me about 5.
All right, man. So let's be real. I'll tell you what my top dream match is, right? And to be real, it may be not one that happens, and I'll probably just always stay a dream match. But one day, so you know what? I'm just gonna put it out there. One day, Ray, you and I are gonna share the ring, and it's gonna be awesome. Like, we're gonna tear the house down. It's gonna be fucking awesome. That's what it is. Rey Mysterio and myself. I just can't wait. That'll be one day. That's one thing that I want. Another match that I would love to be able to run. I want to run back my match with Darius Carter. Like, said it. It's out there. I think another dream match of mine would be AJ Styles. Like, I would love to be able to run one with a phenomenal one. I think Tama Tonga. I would just one time for me. He's awesome. The cool thing about, and the one thing too, and the reason why I say Tama Tonga, right, is because he's an Air Force veteran just like me. And to have that brothers in arms as well as brothers in the ring, like I want that. And I think the last one for me too, I really want to run a match with Randy Orton, because who doesn't? Actually, and The Miz. That's the other one too, because I've been following The Miz. So I've been following The Miz since he was on Real World New York, like Back to New York. Like, I've been watching him for a long time. Like, I'm a huge fan of The Miz. Like, I used to watch him in the Challenge and everything. So it's that's where I'm at.
All right, so 5. If you have more than 5, I do have more than 5. I probably have about like 12.
This is your time, as many as you want.
Oh, geez. Okay, so all right. My top one my top dream match is me versus AJ Styles. AJ's my favorite wrestler. I remember I specifically remember the very first time I saw AJ Styles. So AJ, and this will stay a dream, but Shawn, I would love to wrestle Shawn. I would love to wrestle dream matches. So I'm in a tag team. Waves and curls. That's one I want to mix it up with, Waves and curls. I want to mix it up with Studio 22. Shout out Andino Heat and our very own Showtime Jeremy Grimes. I want to run a match with Casey Lycan, just a one-on-one match. Abraham Khan, Nikolai White. I want to wrestle Cody. I feel like me and Cody could have a good match, Daniel Bryan, Chris Jericho, and my last one, because that's, I'm not going to give you 12, I'll give you 10. My last one, my dream match I want to run, and it has to be at this specific place. I want to wrestle the Red Dog in the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom.
Mike.
Let me tell you something. I
Drop the mic.
like I've had the dream. I had like one night that me and Cliff. I never told Cliff this. Me and Cliff wrestled at the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom and fucking tore the house down. So I just have to make that legit dream a reality. But yeah, I want Red Dog, Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, I just thought
Tokyo
of
Dome.
three
You see
other.
me in the ring.
I just thought of three others
See
that
me
I
in the ring in the
want.
Tokyo Dome. Oh yeah, and I want to do Jacob Fatu.
Oh damn, 4. I want Fatu, but I want Tyree Taylor, Isaiah Wolf, and Marcus Marquise. Let's be real. Like, the one-on-one, each member of Prolific. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's make this happen. All right. Got any more questions, JJ?
Honestly, I think I'm done. So, yeah.
All right. And the chats look good. It doesn't look like anybody else has got any questions going on. So let's move on to the next segment of the show called Pin Them, Submit Them, or DQ. So how this goes is I'm gonna name off 3 wrestlers, and each of you are gonna name how you pin them, submit them, or how are you gonna get DQ'd.
Oh wow! So how are we going to? Oh wow! We have to do how we would do it too.
Oh yes.
Oh wow! Okay.
Okay.
Oh man!
For this one show, I want to see how this goes.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
This one person: Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, and Ric Flair.
Oh shoot!
Now, do we
Okay.
have to take one apiece? Like, do we get, like, do I have to, like, pick, like, if I say Hulk Hogan, I say DQ him, like, do I have to, like, I just tell, like, how I would get DQ'd?
Yeah, how would you get DQ'd?
Yo, I'm hitting him with a chair. No, you know what? I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna dick kick him. Like, let's go with it. Let's take it
You
there.
know, that was my answer. I was definitely you took my answer. I was definitely going to say if for Hulk Hogan, I'd definitely disqualify myself. I'd kick him square in his jewels. Racist piece of dog doo doo.
All right, let's play the real game. Let's play this out. We don't have to tell you how you're gonna do it, but
Okay.
get him DQ. Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, or Ric Flair.
I definitely would pin. I'd pin Piper. And I would I'd submit Flair, but I'm gonna do extra. I'd submit Flair in the figure 4.
Oh, that's extra. That's funny, man. Because actually, I'd pin Flair, and I'd want to submit Rowdy, because like the one thing about Rowdy, man, is like Rowdy would shit all the time. Like, you'd slap on, like, he would get the figure 4 slapped on him, and he would still be talking shit. Like, no, I'm
That's
putting you in a rear naked choke. You're going to sleep.
All right.
I changed the
You on Hogan. All right. Next one. Triple H, Sting, and Kevin Nash.
Oh, that's
Both of y'all is thinking right now. The wheels are going.
All right, so I definitely disqualify. I did the DQ for Triple H because he's not gonna let me beat him clean. Like let's keep it $150. Like Triple H is Triple H if he's not going over, brother, he's definitely not going. He's not losing clean. I'd submit Kevin Nash because he's so freaking tall and I'm so freaking short. So I'd have to make him tap. Exactly, pull his quad.
poor guy.
And then I would Sting. I have to pin Sting. And just pinning Sting in itself would be a feat. Like,
right.
You know what? Like, all right. I'm pinning Nash. I'm pinning Nash like Ray did. Niner to go backwards to get the roll up pin. That's how I'm pinning Nash. I'm submitting Triple H because
okay.
I want to follow the footsteps of name redacted and Cena. Like I want to follow those footsteps.
Oh, Chris Benoit.
What? You said the name. We're getting
I like
pulled.
it.
And then the last one, yeah, I'm getting DQ'd by Sting. You know why? Because if I don't hit Sting with a chair, he's hitting me with a bat.
All right. So the last one for pin, submit, or DQ. Lita, Trish Stratus, and Ronda Rousey.
Oh, damn.
So we all know my love and affection for Ronda Rousey. So I'm definitely pinning her. Trish. Oh wow. I'm probably DQ. No. I submit Trish. And I DQ Lita because Lita's gonna probably do that Hurricane Rana or that moonsault. And as soon as she does that, that's it. So as soon as she jumps off, wailing her with a kendo stick. Wow. Kind of like Charlotte did Ronda, just gonna wail Lita with the kendo stick. Boom, right in midair.
All right, so I think I'll agree. I think I would DQ Lita, just because like Lita back in the day was like and no disrespect to Trish, Lita was more athletic. Definitely hitting her with a kendo, like that's got to be a thing. I think I'm submitting Trish, and I'm pinning Ronda like Becky.
Yeah. The shoulder was up. Yeah. I got you, Andy. I want Ronda to come back because I want them to finish that story. Because it's clear as day her shoulder was up, and we're not going to sit there and like. I know how WWE, they tell you what they want you to know, and what you have to believe. But like, her shoulder was as clear as day. I need Ronda to come back. I hope the rumors of her getting ready to make a return is true.
Yeah, it was like this. It was like 1, 2, 3. So it's like, okay, shoulders were up, but all right, count it.
And we got to get Becky back up first.
That's also true. Yeah, she definitely just had her baby.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yes, congratulations. Because she's not. She'll be out.
Hey, real talk.
Becky will be out for another year or two.
Real talk though, it was a badass name.
Oh, the child. Yeah.
Yeah, Rue. That was a bad name. I was like, yo, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so give these listeners and our followers where they can find you guys.
All right, so you can find me at the 3 Count Podcast. All jokes aside, I'm at Chaz_the_Don. That's Instagram. Get on TikTok often, but when I do, it's pretty lit. So yeah, Chaz_the_Don. You can get my merch at whatamaneuver.net/collections. Pure Ignorance. Go get yourself a Duffin Season shirt that my homeboy Clip got on, or you can get yourself a Pure Violence shirt. Shout out to Outkast. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Yeah, and then you can find me on all your favorite social media platforms at _RedDog85. That's literally on everything. And you can actually find me on Call of Duty, and you can find me on PlayStation under that same name. So if you want to come hang out with me, that's where you find me. And you can also find my gear. Right now, I have one T-shirt, which is cool with me, but it is up on whatamaneuver.net /collections/red_dog. And yeah, that's. Pick up my merch too,
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So, of course, with the 3 Count Podcast, you guys can find us on Instagram and TikTok at 3 Count Pod, That's number 3 count pod. Twitter 3count_pod. And YouTube and Facebook, the 3count pod cast, the 3count podcast. And you can buy our merch at prowrestlingtees.com/the 3count pod. That's the number 3 count pod. But this has been